I'm Justine Morris, and this is your Independence Update. Created in 1979, Concerts in the Park is a well-loved, well-attended, free concert series held in Depot Park the last 3 Fridays in June and the first 3 Fridays in July. Grab your sweetie, pick up a pizza, or buy dinner from the concessions on site, and join us for a little dancing, a lot of great music, and delicious Cook's Dairy Farm ice cream. This is what summer is all about. This Friday, June 13th, a local talent will begin at 6 p.m. and the band Outer Vibe, playing hits from the 80s, begins at 7 p.m. See you there. Another big hit with residents are our farmers markets. Beginning June 14th is the Clarkston Area Farmers Market from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Renaissance High School parking lot every Saturday. And starting on June 15th, each Sunday is the Springfield Farmers Market from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. at the Shiawassee Basin Preserve, right next to the Springfield Township Public Library. And speaking of libraries, at the Clarkston Area District Library on Saturday, June 14th, from 10 a.m. till noon is the free monthly vision screening for children ages 5 months and up. Photos are taken of your child's eyes to check for potential vision problems, and results are immediate and a report is provided at the screening. For a complete list of Clarkston Area Lions Club screenings, visit their website at www.clarkstonlions.org. Does your child have an interest in golf? Well, this summer, Shepherd's Hollow Golf Club instructors will teach 5 classes covering fundamentals of full swing, short game, and putting with an overview on equipment, rules, and etiquette. All levels of experience are welcome. Balls are provided and clubs are available if necessary. Session 1 is from June 17th through July 1st, and Session 2 is from July 15th through the 29th, with classes being held on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9:15 to 10:15 a.m. Contact the Independence Township Parks and Recreation for more information on this and all activities being held this summer. If you have a story or information you'd like us to share on Independence Update, please contact us at 248-623-3661 or email Matt Blow at mbleau@indetwp.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and now Instagram. Stay tuned for more after this. Thanks for joining us for another week of The Thread. Dr. Rock, what's happening with the district?
Well, thanks for having me again, Justine. Just a few things I wanted to talk about today. June 10th is the last day of the school year for most of our schools. Bailey Lake has a couple days to make up, a couple of half days. So school just let out, and I just want to take an opportunity to thank all the kids for making it a great school year. I want to thank all of the staff members, whatever your role is here, if it's food service or a custodian, or if you drive a bus, or if you're a teacher or a social worker, whatever your role is. Just want to thank you. Relationships really, really matter, and the connections that kids make with teachers throughout a school year are incredible, and they last a lifetime. And I know our teachers, our staff, our administrators, they take their jobs very seriously, and they connect with kids, make a huge difference in their lives. And I've just heard story after story every day about the relationships we have. And just to give a couple of examples, went to graduation practice about a week ago out at DTE, and I see some of our teachers, our special education teachers, with some of our students, and walking them around, making sure they know where to sit and how to go through graduation. And then later that evening, I look out in the audience and I see those same teachers sitting next to those students, making sure they're where they need to be and that they're comfortable. And then I went to the all-night party, and I was there until at least midnight, and those same teachers are there with those kids, just making sure their needs are met. And that's just one example of the incredible work that our staff does for kids, and whatever it takes, whatever kids need. Stories you don't hear about all the time, things that happen behind the scenes, how much time our administrators spend. You know, if there's an event happening at the school, it's most likely that the principal is there. Whenever it is, if it's a weekend or late at night, early in the morning, or a combination of all those things. It's just incredible what our people do, and I just want to offer my sincere thanks. And it's all about kids, and I want to thank the kids for being great kids and for doing your best every day. And we have a few people who are retiring from Clarkston. We have Nancy Burmeister, Alexis Iveson, Cyan Kovalchuk, Doug Slater, who retired in the middle of the year, Deb Thoreau, and Charlene Robertson. And I know there are others, and I just want to thank these people for their service to the Clarkston schools and this community. For all the difference you made, I want to wish you the very best in your future. And then just a few other things I want to talk about. The baseball team is continuing on. They'll play in the regionals today. Actually, I think it's the quarterfinal that they're in today. And they're playing at Novi at 4:30 p.m. on Tuesday the 10th, so I want to wish them the very best. And if they win, they'll advance on to the semifinals at Michigan State University this weekend. So congratulations to them and very best wishes. And I also want to talk a little bit about our school budget, which we're finalizing. According to state law, we have to have a budget done by June 30th. And as you know from the past, Clarkston has been in a deficit budget for many years, where we've been required to lay staff off and pink slip, increase class sizes, cut programs, cut spending in many areas such as textbooks and technology and those kinds of things. And that's still the case for many school districts around us. And we've worked really, really hard with our employee groups through changes in insurance, through what are called furlough days, even though our teachers and our administrators still worked and didn't get paid for those days. And we all pay quite a bit more for our insurance. I know that's the reality for many outside of the world of education and government. And I want to let the community know that last year we had a $4.5 million deficit, and this year we have a $1.5 million surplus, which is a $6 million swing in 1 year. And that's not going into next year. That's not dependent on how much money the state gives us. That's absolutely the amount of money we've saved in a school year, a $6 million swing. And I know that this is a very conservative community, that you watch very closely how government entities spend their money. You're very concerned about taxes. And I think you should feel very, very good about a $6 million positive swing. The fact that we are not laying people off, the fact that we are decreasing class sizes. I think it should give you reassurance that the decisions that your administration, your school board are making are very positive. We've worked to increase revenue through shared services. We've brought in over 300 additional students through our private and parochial school partnerships, which is the equivalent of a whole nother elementary school. And we're working very hard to increase that. We've not opened enrollment. I know many people are opposed to that. And I hope you feel really good about the steps we've taken to really make sure our budget is in good shape. And I want to thank everybody who's involved with that, all of our staff members, our administrators, our school board, and our business staff, our human resources staff, and Sean Ryan, our deputy superintendent, just doing an amazing job, and it's just great to see. And the last thing I want to share, I guess maybe the second to last thing, we have a state budget proposal that's just been being talked about this morning, and it should be finalized this week, Justine, because the House and Senate will go on their summer recess at the end of the week. And there's been many ups and downs in the state budget from earlier in January when we thought there was a huge surplus in state revenue to just the last couple of weeks where they said it's not nearly what they had expected, but there's still a surplus. And in the past, there have been attachments to funding for schools, things called best practices, which would require school districts to do things like open enrollment, to privatize services, to offer certain programs in order to get funding. And then there's performance funding, which means it's contingent on test scores. And the proposal from the Senate and the governor was just to give increases to school districts because we haven't had an increase for many years. And that was just a straight up increase no matter which district. The House had proposed continuing with the best practices and the performance funding. And what they do is when they each have a proposal and then they go into committee and they come up with a consensus on what they're going to do. And what they decided this morning coming out of committee is that they would go forward with best practices and performance funding. And to me, this is fundamentally unfair to every school district in Michigan because you pay, each one of us pays 2-cent sales tax to fund schools. And that's exactly what it's for, starting in 1994, to fund schools. 2-cent increase, Proposal A. No strings attached. And the way that certain government entities get things they want done is by attaching strings and saying, you get this money if you do this, this, and this. And a big problem with that is some of those thises, if you will, cost money. If they say you can get this money if you have a certain physical education program, or if you have a counselor in every school, that means we have to add in order to get that money. And it does not equal the cost and the income, do not equal. So it actually costs more money to get the money than if we didn't get it. And I think it's fundamentally unfair to play those games with school districts, with tax money. Those should be local decisions. We have been very, very conservative. We've done a very good job with our finances. We don't need Lansing to tell us specific ways to get money. We need the money, and we need to work with our employees and our community to do the very best we can with our school board to make sure that that money is used for your children, for our children, not according to some stipulation from the state. And I've called both of our senators and our House of Representative members this morning, expressed my opinion. I believe that the Senate is supportive, as they were with their original proposal. I'm concerned about the House. I hope the governor, I've written to him, will come through and support us and know that we have done our excellent job here with our finances, a $6 million swing, and that these should be local decisions. And I feel the same way about every school district in the state, not just Clarkston. Every school district should be able to make those decisions about the money, not Lansing, not big government, not some special interest group, but your local school board and your local school district and the teachers and kids. That's what we need to think about. So I hope, and this decision's probably going to get made today on June 10th. I'm not sure if people will see this. I hope if you do that you'll make a call, you'll write an email, you'll let people know that you want those decisions at the local level, not stipulations and strings attached to money that you pay for public schools. And I thank you for allowing me to offer my opinion on that. It's very concerning, and I want the best for the Clarkston schools. I want to be able to make those decisions with the people here. So thanks for listening to my opinion. The last thing I wanted to say, I just got an email this morning. We've had 3 teachers this year receive state recognition, as I've talked about in the past, for their excellent work. And I heard that Wendy Stewart, who is our orchestra teacher, works all the way from 6th, 7th grade through the high school, does an exceptional job. She's the teacher of the year in I believe it's Region 4. One more example of the excellence of the Clarkston schools. So just a final word of thanks to everyone, all of our parents, all of our community members, for all that you contribute to the Clarkston schools, for all of our staff and our students. I just want a sincere thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Justine.
See you next week.
Okay.
Thanks. Stay tuned for a presentation with Pat Kittle. I'm excited about it. All right, we're here with Pat Kittle to tell us about some things happening in the area. Let's see, I know that we had a spring cleanup last weekend. How'd that go?
Yeah, it really was a huge success. We had over 500 cars come up to our DPW offices at Flemings Lake Road, and residents could drop off household waste, hazardous, paint type things, petrochemicals, electronics, old grills. We got refrigerators, we got hot water tanks. And like I said, it's been about 5 or 6 years since we've done it last. But I think one thing that we wanted to do is to start to make sure that we can offer that to residents every year. Stuff just seems to magically accumulate in your garage. And this is a great opportunity for people to dispose of things in a safe, environmentally friendly way that is just good for the community. So this is something that we were really, really happy with the turnout. I think Linda Richardson and her crew at the DPW did a phenomenal job as far as keeping organized and having everything orchestrated so that people can get in and out quickly. And besides having a lot of fun, we brought in a lot of junk.
Good.
So yeah, it is good.
Yeah.
So.
Now, what's this news I hear about Dixie Highway?
You know, Dixie Highway is such a cool corridor, and for those of you who don't know, before I-75, that was the only way that you could get up north. And as businesses grew and businesses aged and some new businesses came in, there are parts of Dixie that look really good, and there are parts of Dixie that are just looking a little long in the tooth. So we put together a team to see what we can do to put a little pride back into Dixie. And again, being new to the office, I'm not a retail development wizard. So we brought together 20 big retailers from the Dixie community. We brought in big commercial developers. We brought in bankers. We brought in members of our planning commission to start to do some brainstorming on some things that we could do as a township to help start put a little pride back into the Dixie corridor. And it really is kind of a laundry list of things, but they said, first and foremost, Mr. Township Guy, you need to put together a master retail strategy. What is it that you want Dixie to look like? And then from there, pull in the team and try to put together the strategic steps on how we're going to get there. We need to do that independence is easy to do business with type of mentality, and start to, not to shortcut, but to streamline the approval processes and the building inspection process and the site plan review processes to make it a little bit more user-friendly, to help strip out some of the costs, and just to let people know that, hey, you know, we put the, you know, open for business sign out, you know, at the beginning of our community. Identify what anchor stores we need to have. You know, again, kind of like every mall, they seem to have anchor stores, and then they have complementary stores that surround it. And what is that strategy for us? We need to go out and actively start to recruit businesses. And there are ways that you can do this, of which I still have to learn, but there are some people who are on our board who are very good at it and have offered to help. To develop some tax strategies. Again, if you've got a property that needs a facelift and needs some renovation, maybe there's some things that we can do with some tax incentives for a couple of years that will give them that economic little jolt that they need to say, hey, you know what, this is a pretty good time, let's take advantage of it. Maybe waive some fees for renovations. Again, we're not getting the fees now, so again, if they put the renovations in and things start to escalate and we start to see some increased property values, there might be some good things happening. Evaluate our signage and our landscaping requirements. You know, at one time it was a great idea to put berms along the roadway between like where the cars are and where the shops are, which was really kind of a nice thing from a green standpoint. The problem is if you're driving down Dixie, you can't see what those stores are. And if you can't see it, chances are you're not going to pull into it. No. So is that really the right strategy today? You know, and then just, you know, having the township follow up with those particular stores that might be, you know, getting a little rough around the edges, and just a little love letter and just saying, hey, you know what? Maybe it's time you cut the grass. Maybe it's time you spruced up your landscaping or gave the place a coat of paint. And again, you know, and there isn't anything in our ordinances that would force them compliance, but I think if poised properly, you know, I think it would have some positive returns. So again, we're gonna start jumping on that as well. So it was a great day, a lot of good ideas, and at the end of the day, these guys came away just thanking the township for taking the time and the effort and realizing that, you know what, everything isn't all about Sashbaugh. There's other parts of this community that need to be looked at, and Dixie is one of them. And I agree. Right. So it was a good day.
Good. Now you have a third topic to talk to us about the roads, correct?
Yeah, we talked about this a couple of times, and I just thought I'd give everyone a little update on our neighborhood road incentive. We still have the $50,000 that we budgeted. That's approved by the board. We have made a couple of small revisions to the program that I'm going to be taking to the board for approvals tonight, and I'm really not anticipating any problem, but the one thing that we wanted to do was eliminate the cut-through provision. You remember before I was going to offer up to 5% for a road project and double it to 10% for a cut-through, but everybody who came in said that their street was a cut-through, whether it was or not. Okay. So what we figured we could do is, because we have the right to make adjustments, we're going to take that provision out. But at the same time, while we had a $10,000 cap before for projects, I think we're going to, the recommendation to the board is going to be to raise that to $15,000. Okay. So again, just, you know, making that carrot just a little bit bigger, dangling it in front of people that, you know, hopefully we'll get more people jumping on board. But we've had 10 neighborhoods come in so far that expressed an interest. 5 of them seem really serious. And one project, Wealthy Street, they're the ones that actually kind of got this whole program started. Just finished their road project. That was $157,000. That was for 1,800 linear feet of repaving. And if you had driven on wealthy streets 6 months ago versus today, today it is like pristine. It's beautiful. And I know the neighbors are very happy. And we're going to be asking the board to approve a check for $7,872 tonight to help offset those costs and to actually lower what the assessment would be for the neighbors that agreed to get involved in a program. So off to a good start.
Yes.
And it's exciting.
Yes. Great.
So
Thanks for being here with us.
hey, no problem. Thanks for the invite.
Yes. See you next week.